Alex. Hi everyone. Second team. Chris. Yes. It's to the credit of all our players and the work and support of everyone at the club. The Seconds development team equalled our highest ever finish this season, second successive top half position, and the highest of the 4 reserve or development teams in our league. Having seen 8 players who played 5 or more games for us last season move squad or leave London, we rebuilt a team that was the equal of its predecessor and ended the season in Martin's final game by beating Westminster, who finished 3rd and were on a 6-game winning run when we played them. Getting the squad back up and running took time. My notes from last season's speech say, with 2 points from our first 5 games, we had a bit of a mountain to climb. This time we lost our first 5, and at the Christmas party and on the morning of December the 14th, we were bottom by 6 points and on 0 points. So it was a tough start. However, we went unbeaten in 10 of the next 12, went from -12 to +5 goal difference, and finished with the best defensive record outside the top 2 and the best in the league since the start of January. We play and defend as a team, so many congrats to all the players for that. It's important to note this was written without knowing the split of the first team votes, so there's no comparative statements here. It's important to note that 11 different players were nominated for Players' Player of the Season. This is a tribute to all our players who consistently maximise their effort, intelligence and unique skill sets on the pitch and always turn up ready to give their all. Our squad gives players valuable exposure to high-level MTFL football, with 4 people moving up to become first regulars in the last 2 seasons, which is the highest rate of any of the 4 reserve teams in our league. We also try and help people develop a winning mentality. Competing at a good level is often about more than just ability. It's fine margins, focusing, holding nerve and composure. We had 3 1-0 wins this year and they required all of the above. It's also about believing in yourself as individuals and as a team. I have to shout out in particular one season-defining result for our 3rd win of the season, in which we were 2-0 down at half-time to bottom of the league. We stuck together, regrouped at half-time, and scored 7 in the second half to win 7-2. So it looked easy on paper. It wasn't a pleasant life for the first 45 minutes. But we're defined not by our setbacks, but by our response to them. I thank our players for giving everything despite this tough start, and also to the club for giving me the space to rebuild the squad. As I've said on the committee, this comes from the top, and I thank Alex as chair for that in particular. A massive thanks to all the committee for their time and contributions, Ben for his important work as assistant, he's just had a baby as well, and as a valued member of the development team community, and also Alexis as a technical director who went through a full 90 minutes when we'd had one of our narrow early season defeats to tell the squad that we'd actually had 40 chances or something compared to their 16, and I actually think that was a really valuable thing of putting in numbers the fact that we were doing the right thing. So thank you for your ongoing passion for the club. We're lucky to have you. Thanks also to Joe, who's also always given important advice and time very generously. All the first players who've come in and performed with excellence. It's been brilliant working with Tig and Aidan, who I think have developed the Unity team with an eye on the present, but also making it a great squad for the future. And Eric, who I thank for his close and invaluable advice and assistance on the team and player selection, and his friendship and many midnight calls. And I once again thank... Dylan doesn't have to worry, you don't have to get on Instagram before the post. I once again thank Will as captain. captain, and Nick, who's on the stag do, and JP, who's remote working in Colombia. I'm sure, just because it's cheap to do that there, as vice captains, and Will as captain, for being good friends and true leaders on and off the pitch. The first award is for Golden Boot. I'm very speculatively going to give 3 rings to the winner, who basically works every day of the week except for Saturday daytimes and is currently probably delivering food, so it's probably not going to answer, but let me just try and see if he answers. Or Joe, will you see if he answers whilst I speak? You give it 3 minutes. Right, this award goes to someone who... No? No, end it. This award goes to someone who signed up in the summer, having first trialled at Westminster, who didn't even progress him. Sorry, I'm getting another bit. Who didn't even, probably got pocket time. Who didn't even progress him to the point of playing in a friendly, but tried to poach him off us this summer, having seen him play against them. I'm pleased to say he's refused. Having had 3 years out of football, he took time getting up to speed, but showed a great attitude even early on when he was playing a rotational role. He's travelled from Wembley all season and has actually matched a record set only by a few, including, I'm sure, by Dennis, for having 100% availability across the season, which I think is incredible. He's become the seconds player to score over 10 goals in our league, following Cola. Has the highest goals per game ratio in our league ever for us, with 11 from 16, and is one of the most composed finishers I've managed in my time at the club. Many of the goals have been vital, including a late winner away to Hackney when we'd lost 2 players to injury, and he'd done a full match despite fasting for Ramadan. A great instance of his willingness to give everything for the team. Another example was tracking back the full pitch from centre forward to make a goal-saving challenge in our 2-0 down comeback draw away to league winners LBS Lions. He's humble, reliable, supportive and kind, and exactly the sort of person being part of Stonewall is all about, and I'm very proud we have him at the club. Before I reveal the name, I'd also like to shout out David, Khalid, Lassa, Aidan and Cola, who all got goal tallies that would have won them our Golden Boot in prior years. However, this year the award goes to Mustafa, who will be first to watch this video. The second award is for Players Player of the Year. Despite the wide range of voting, there was a clear winner. The point of having senior players in the team, the point of having senior players in the team is to lead with their ability and their mentality, and in doing so, set an example to those around them. This player has put in leading performances at home and overseas, and rarely misses a game unless injured. I mean, in fact, if he's injured, he's probably more likely to play. The determination, relentlessness, work rate and passion he shows has always embodied what I think a great Stonewall side looks like. I had already decided this award, but the... We've lost a page. I'm going to have to go to what I said to Snappy Stats for the decisive version. Okay, here we go. We're back on the road. It's because I was getting Martin's shirt signed. I got in the muddle. Having joined as Unity player 3 years ago, moving up to captain active in his first season as we won the league together. His performances have progressed consistently year on year, such that he is now a core midfielder in a successful Saturday team and did not look out of place playing for the first at the end of the season either. He's achieved this performance level whilst learning a new position this season and is shaping up to be a worthy successor to Martin as DM. Off the pitch, he remains a deeply valued friend and support, and it's a pleasure to have been on much of the Stonewall journey with him. As I said 3 years ago when he won the same award for the Unity team, I'm delighted his teammates have recognised him as a great player, leader and person that he is. He now becomes, at least in the memory of Eric, which is as good as it gets, the first player ever to win this award for 2 different 11 sides in the club. The winner is Will!
I will keep this short and sweet, but yeah, thank you so much. I think the main thing to say from the dev side is just a huge shout out to Alex. Across the club, he is so committed in everything he does, and he invests a huge amount of time and energy. We're so lucky to have him. It's not an unusual thing to pour through 90 minutes of footage every week and to send every individual player 5 or 6 clips on how they can improve and get better. And every now and then there will be something you did well, which is always very rewarding. But yeah, he's a huge part of this club, and I think we're very, very lucky to have him. So huge shout out to Alex.